Hello everyone, welcome to a new process video. I am working on another 6x8 pocket page, as you can see here, and I've got 4 pockets that are all the same, so they're all 3x4. I've already picked out my photos, so I've got 3 photos for these pockets. Then in the lower left, I'm going to have to do a flip because I have several things I want to use here. Now, this card, I have to say I'm not totally sold with which side I'm going to use. I'm thinking this side because it has more color in it. There is blue here in each of these photos, and there's blue here. But I like the mix of colors. Now on the other side, it's all blue, and it says right here, right now, with the WR type of right, which I think is clever. So I'm not sure. I think I still like the colors, but this definitely matches because there's a little bit of blue, that same color in all of them. So I don't know, maybe I'll switch it up as I go. I'm never 100% sure when I start these. I just kind of go with it and see what works. So I'm just going to start it and see what happens. This will definitely give me more choice on what else I can put on these photos. But again, we'll see. And then I will have to do a flip because I want to have this card. And notice it says happy right here. So I thought it would be a funny kind of play on words too for this right and this right. Whereas if I do this one, I'm not going to get that, but you'll still see this. So I don't know. It's a toss-up really. I'll just start and see what happens. As I was looking more at my photos, I noticed that in this photo, which will actually be under a flip, it has some curves to it, some round elements in the ceiling, whereas everything else is pretty linear. I mean, look at this design. We've all, got straight lines here in all of these. So I kind of liked that that one had a curve, but you don't see it unless you're going to have a flip. So I thought a good way to kind of incorporate more curves here would be to have some circle elements on some of these photos perhaps. And so I went into my stash and I pulled out, not this one, that's to look through later to see what else I can do, but I pulled out a bunch of circle items that I had. And a lot of these, like all of these here, are from a digital pack that I bought. And they come in all these different colors. You just print them out and cut them. I used a circle punch, so it was even easier. And then, whoops, these, most of them were also from a digital pack. And I didn't have the right size of circle punch, so I did have to cut most of these by hand. You can tell on some of them, but for the most part, I think they're fine. So I just really have to decide, do I want one of these where I can do a little bit of journaling on it, or do I want a smaller one where maybe I could just write the date or stamp a little phrase in there or something? I'm not sure. So I'm going to mess around with that and just see what I pick out that's fun. So these were all of the different colors that I thought might match here if I use this side. So this isn't exactly the same blue here, but it does match this color, this color, this color. So that might work. The 2 shades of pink are both in here. They would work. And then I've got kind of this minty green, which I like. It matches the pen. And then there's a lot of yellow in here already, just given the lighting and the wood choice within the library. I think that might work. And you know what I just realized? I think I forgot to mention this. This is the Denver Central Public Library. It's right downtown. It's directly across from the art museum. So if you've watched some of my other videos, I was at the art museum, seen the Degas exhibit, and then I walked across and I went into the library because in all the time I've spent in Denver, I don't recall ever having gone into this library before this trip. Shame on me. So I wanted to go in and check it out, and it was fabulous. So I'm glad I did that, and I spent some time actually working in there. So that will be part of my journaling. But the main problem is still picking out one of these, or maybe more than one. Maybe on one photo I could do a big one and another photo a small one. I don't know. So I'm just going to mess around with it and go from there. For the top of the page, meaning what you see without the flip, I've decided to go with this color and keep the card as is here, because I do think it introduces an interesting color element that doesn't appear elsewhere. It's only the card and then this. So I'm going to adhere it up here slightly off the page like so. I'll cut off the top, and then I'm going to stamp something in there. So now I just have to go to my miscellaneous stamps and find out what might work in here. I went through my miscellaneous stamps and I didn't find anything that I really liked. So then I decided to go into my travel stamps, and I found this set, and I think I'm going to use this one down here that says let yourself rest, because really this was a whirlwind trip. I went right from, you know, bus to airport to plane to airport to light rail train to the train station, Union Station, to the art exhibit. Oh no, I missed a stop. To a park, to the art exhibit, and then finally, after all of that, sat for a little while and just relaxed in the library and did a little bit of work. So I think it's appropriate. However, I don't think it's going to be a perfect fit here. I think it's going to overlap the white areas just a little bit, but I'm going to try it, because if it's just a little bit, I'm fine with that. It doesn't have to be completely perfect. If I do it and I hate it, oh well. These are digital files. I'll just print another one and find something else. But I want to at least try it and see what happens. I did the stamping and I love it. It came out pretty much perfect. There's just a tiny bit of overlap on the very, very edges, but it's hardly noticeable, and I just love it. So I'm going with this one. So the next step then is to adhere it to the photo up here. I'm going to cut off part of the top, so I don't want adhesive all the way to the top there. So I don't want it right over the flag. I think that's weird. So I want to align it over to more to the left, maybe about like so. And that way when I cut this off, I still have room to put a little staple in there. Let me grab my scissors here. I'm going to cut off the excess. Yeah, that looks good. All right, put in my staple. Somewhat centered. Oh no, is it stuck? Don't wreck my beautiful card that I just made. Oh, it's stuck, you guys. I have to go off camera and see if I can figure this out. Whew, I have to tell you, that scared me a bit. Went off camera, got the card out of there, opened up the stapler. Nothing was wrong with it, so I have no idea why that happened. Of course, it only happens when it's on camera, right? So took out the other one, replaced it with a new one, and now we're good to go. Thank goodness. So that one's going to go up here. And then I think I want to actually stamp something here, because I don't want to have double journaling, really. I don't need journaling on this card and this one. And on this one, I'm just going to talk about how I love libraries. I always have. Maybe, you know, in another life, I would have become a librarian. I could see myself doing that. And I find it very peaceful, very restful, which works kind of with the theme here. So I'm going to write about that here. I don't really need more writing here. So I think I'm going to stamp, but I don't like the other ones in this set for anything that would work here. So it's back into my stash I go to find a different stamp. I have decided to use this stamp set. This is an older one from Technique Tuesday. It's called Bright Idea. It's hard to see, but it's from 2012. And I think I'm going to use this stamp that says Bright Idea number 99. And I'm going to put that right there, kind of in the middle, because I think it was a bright idea to go in here and just take a little break. And the fact that it's a library means a place of learning and contemplation and study. So having ideas goes right along with that. So that's what's up next. So speaking of bright ideas, I've come up with something, I think. So this is where the flip is going to happen. And so when you flip up, this will be the top of what you see, but when you flip, it'll look like this. I'm thinking that I'm going to take this pink lined circle and actually attach it to this card, again with a slight overlap at the top, just like this one, so that they'll mirror each other, but that you won't see it until you do the flip, so it's hidden. But then it's a nice design element when that flap is open. And then I'm not writing directly on the card. I have an additional element that really brings another layer, maybe a little bit of texture, and it brings in some more color. It works in that pink that was on this card. So I think it's a little unexpected but fun. So I think I'm going to go with that and see how I like it. For continuity in the design, I've adhered it, I cut off the top, and I put in mini staple right close to the top so that it somewhat mirrors this one. And other than journaling, that's all I really need to do with that one. So I'm going to finish off the flip here. So it'll appear like this and then this. So this really just has to go in the pocket behind here so that you can see it. So it'll look like that. And then I just need to adhere the pocket. I use the ones that are made by Simple Stories. So you just peel off your adhesive, you line it up with the pocket where you want it, and then you press, really just to kind of seal the deal here. There we go. All right. And then there you go. The flip is ready to go. I have everything put in the pockets here, and I think I need maybe just one more element. And so I'm thinking of doing one of these little pennants. Again, these are all digital files that I bought. All I did was cut them out. But I'm thinking I need something either maybe in this corner or this corner, just to tie more of the color into the design. So I do have some pink options. I can see there's some blue in there. So I'm going to go through these quickly and pick one out for this layout. I decided to go with this little pennant or flag here. It's got that same blue color that's featured in here, but it's got polka dots. So it adds a little extra visual excitement there, I think. And I'm just going to put it down in this corner. To keep it consistent again, I will just put in a little mini staple. There we go. And I don't even think I'm going to write anything. For a second, I thought maybe I would just do the date or something, but I don't think it needs it. So I think this one is done. I'm just going to slide that in the pocket, and we'll do a close-up here. There we go. And then if you flip, that's what it looks like. And as always, I will add my journaling later, but otherwise this one is done. Thanks for watching, everybody.